So if you're not yet convinced of what this plan is, you can find it on the United Nations website. But let me give you some of the highlights. There are 17 main points put out by the UN, 17 points that John Kerry, the United Nations, and the Biden administration, among others, all say must be accelerated right now. Accelerated right now. You see, they have a closing window. They realize in America the jig is up. They got busted. Okay, goal number 1, end all poverty worldwide. A noble goal, but far-fetched because poverty will always exist, as it always has. But what they really want are centralized banks and a single digital currency. Much easier to track you that way, you see. Goal number 2, end hunger and achieve food security, which really means doing what they have started with the Dutch, which is under the guise of climate, take over the farms, take over food supply. Keep that in mind. If you control the food, who do you control? Everyone. Goal 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being. In other words, demand compliance with any and all demands about health, say like mass vaccinations. Without dissent, it won't be allowed. Goal number 4, ensure inclusive and equitable, love that word, inclusive and equitable education, which is an easy way to say they will teach everyone what to think and destroy critical thinking along the way. Mass adherence to their talking points, better known as propaganda. Goal number 5, gender equality and empowering all women and girls. And that simply means forced family planning. They'll decide who does what and to whom and to who it happens. Goal number 6, ensure availability and sustainable water management. And again, this is dictating the supply through central planners of fresh water. By the way, one of the big keys here is to disperse wealth throughout the world. Wealthy nations must disperse their wealth. Gee, I think we're already seeing that. Aren't we $31 trillion in debt? But I digress. Goal 7, love this one. Sustainable, reliable, and modern energy for all, which means get ready to sit in the dark because they'll control the energy supply, which they're already working on. This is part of the acceleration of the transition. We're going through this transition. Goal 8, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, which means TPP, free trade zones, and massive control for mega corporations. Oh, yes, they play a big role here. And this is just the beginning, because the goals will also eliminate most, if not all, national borders so that workers can flow freely from place to place. But at the same time, restrict free travel dramatically and force people out of rural areas into concentrated urban settings. I've been telling you this for years, by the way. These little computers they want to put on your car, it's not to check the mileage or see how you're doing. It's to say, gee, Mr. Gruber, you've already gone to the store twice this week. You don't need to go again. But I don't have any food. Well, then you should have planned better, Mr. Gruber. I'm sorry, but the answer is no. I'm going to continue with this dissection of Agenda 2030 in just a moment right here on the Steve Gruber Show.